afternoon, everyone. So today, welcome all for another session of Happy Parenting. First of all, let me brief about this summit. It's the South Asian International Summit for Quality Education 2022, which will be held from 28th to 30th October 2022 in Lucknow, India. So I would like to take this an opportunity to invite all of you for this summit. Then I would like to warmly welcome Dr. Dheeraj Malhotra, who is the principal of Kunwar Global School in India, as well as our guest speaker, Mrs. Ravenna Phillips, and who is an entrepreneur, educator, trainer, a coach, as well as a psychologist in India. And then I would like to welcome the principal of South Asian Educational International Education Institute of Sri Lanka, Mr. Janaka Kamalgada, and all of the participants in this session. Welcome everybody, welcome you all. Then I would like to invite Dr. Dheeraj, sir. Can you give some words can you brief something about the summit?
Good evening from India, and I'm really excited to be a part of this wonderful webinar, which talks about the conference on education and sustainable development goals. Well, we look forward to an event slated on 28th to 30th of October here in Lucknow, and we are happy to be the proud venue partner for that event. Well, appreciation to our friends in Sri Lanka, headed by Mr. Janaka and supported by a wonderful team of fellow members. And I'm very excited to host you all here at Lucknow on 28th to 30th of October. Well, this is an international education summit for quality education, where we are looking forward to brainstorm on topics related to quality in education. The fourth goal we are exploring as a part of the Sustainable Development Goals. And also we are looking forward to, in fact, discussing about the new framework of education system, which we are having it as a part of an implementation in India, that is in the form of the National Education Policy. Also, in addition, post-COVID, we have had many challenges. So I'm sure with this conference and seminars and webinars like these will go a long way in solving issues related to the post-COVID scenario of the education system globally. So I'm thankful to all the wonderful members, associates, and today especially Mrs. Phillips is going to work on the very trait of how best we are going to be engaging parents and exploring the connect with a preface of learning to learn as a priority rather than an occasional occurrence. So thank you once again and all the very best.
Thank you very much, sir. Then I would like to invite Mrs. Ravenna Phillips to introduce herself as well as explain the objectives of our discussion.
Thank you so much, Nilaka. We definitely are going to miss our guest who is unwell today. We were expecting Miss Rita Agarwal, a renowned psychologist. She was there with us the last time. She's unwell today, so we will continue this discussion forward. Yeah, the whole idea was we wanted to understand the importance of and the impact of parenting on quality education, and how this also contributes, happy parenting contributes to the sustainable development goals of having quality education, introducing more of the quality education. So, Nilanka, I believe, you know, if any of you, rather, I would say, have questions, can ask, and we can have a discussion around this. And whoever would feel free to share their views, it will be great. So particularly, I also want to include the fact that how important it is for the role of a teacher to also have insight on how to deal and help parents to build a better sustainable environment, which will in turn bring in quality education. So we can just have an open discussion, and you know, I can answer the question, or we have Ms. Thinlai also here, we have Rizmina here, you are there. Let's kind of pick up on our discussion. And as we were basically expecting Rita ma'am to be interviewed today, and because of her absence, you know, we are going ahead with this discussion as a format.
Thank you, ma'am. Then there is another teacher joined today with us. I would like to welcome you also, Mrs. Rizmina Rafiq, the director of Miracle Kids Preschool in Sri Lanka. So I would like to introduce yourself, Ms. Rizmina. Can you?
Okay, so I'm Rizmina Rafiq, and I'm from Sri Lanka. I'm the director of Miracle Kids Preschool. I've been doing this preschool for almost 9 years, and I have prior experience in working in a preschool as well. So I'm very happy to join this session today. And parenting, happy parenting is a very, very important topic in today's context, according to me, because there are parents, but are the parents happy? That is a very important question, because parents have to be happy, because the children are not always going to be kids. They will, very soon they will leave their childhood and they will become adults, and then is whatever is their base only will be what will be there in the future. So it's a very important topic, and I'm glad to be a part of this discussion group. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So first of all, I would like to ask some questions from Rana ma'am. My first question will be, can you explain the importance of role of parents in quality education? Can you explain about it?
Right. Thank you, Nilanka. So parents are the guardians of the children. And the fact is that if the parents do not agree on educating their child, or do not understand the importance of education, are not okay to invest in education, are not okay to allow their child to kind of continue with their upgradation and studies, etc., how can the child himself, you know, be the person we expect to be after a few years, like being a responsible citizen. So firstly, it is very important for parents to know that it is their responsibility to get their child educated, and they have to give that enough time to their child, so that those years of education, why in so many countries, especially the Asian countries, we see that so many children are working as laborers, no matter what law is introduced. At least, you know, in India, it's still there that when you are stopping at the traffic signals, there are small children below 12, 7, they will come and they will, you know, ask for something, or they will sell small things. So what is the reason? Because parents think they shouldn't be studying. They should start earning money. They should contribute to the family. But for the difference between this thought process, and where parents think that my child should be qualified, independent, there is a whole socio-economic transition in the country, in their family. And especially in India, we are seeing so many children from really backward tribal backgrounds are becoming high level officers, bureaucratic officers. So who decides whether the child will be educated or not? We don't have any policies in our country, so far as I know, that where the government is confiscating or taking away the child if the parent is not giving him the privileges. No, in Asian countries and in India, I know that it is the parents' decision to decide whether the child and what kind of life the child has. So it is a critical role. It's the deciding factor where the parent will decide whether my child will get education or not. We have government schools, we will have NGOs wanting to educate them, we will have volunteers wanting to educate them, but who is the primary decision maker here? The primary decision maker is the parent. So that is how critical it is in country and Asian countries, especially because there is no government intervention. There is no government official who is going to come and audit our house, knock at our doors, just like, polio times. I remember in India, they knock and say, has your child taken a polio vaccination? During the COVID, they came, are you vaccinated? So there is no knock in the doors to check, is your child going to school or not? So there is no government intervention. It is the parent who is the deciding factor, whether he is sending the child or he is not. So extremely critical role of a parent to understand the importance of education and knowing that how much education can change their future. And because a lot of awareness has been brought, the least we can do is bring awareness. I think that is one point of discussion that we would want to bring through this conference and through this happy parenting module and course, that bringing awareness to the parents that this will change your life. This will change the life of your child for generations. Because, I have personally in so many universities, elite universities, I worked with, like, students for IITs and Triple IT and VNIT come from very, very humble backgrounds. And not that government has not given them the facility, but they don't know, or maybe they don't want to take advantage of the benefit. And those who know and who have taken an advantage, their life and family has changed. I was speaking to one of these employees of one of the colleges that I went, and he was a security guard, not like a actual security person, but just like a watchman is what you can call at the gate. I requested him to get me a cup of tea. I said, okay, and I said, uncle, thank you for the chai, because he was pretty senior and he was still a watchman there. And I said, do you have kids? And he said, yes, I have kids. So I thought they would be working like him. So I said, okay, what does your kid do? He says, my son is an IT engineer. Oh, I said, wow, that's very interesting. So where does he work? And he took the name of a very renowned college in Pune, a company in Pune. And he said, there he works. He took me in the flight. I went in the flight and I came in the flight. So many of them like this I met, who are working in education institute at a very humble position, but have watched what is happening in the college, have learned about their privileges, and have made sure that their children are educated. So I helped my house help, that's my maid, to get her child admitted in one of the very good schools, which is government funded. And the child and the girl is very happy after COVID, going back to school and spending that time in school, very excited to come back and study. And I told her, okay, when she grows up, you can make sure she does engineering or teaching or whatever. And these are some of the facilities that government gives to children who can take advantage. So the key factor again is, in Asian countries, parent is the deciding factor of the future of the child, and that child is going to be ultimately integral part of our society. What happens if he's not educated? He will get into crime. And who will face the trouble? We all. So whose responsibility it is? It is our moral responsibility to bring that and contribute that awareness so that we live and our children live in a better society tomorrow. That is the whole idea. So I hope, Nilinka, I answered your question to the importance of role of parents in the quality education.
Of course, ma'am. Thank you very much for the great answer. Actually, we got a better idea about that. So I would like to ask again, then how can we bring more awareness around this?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Nilanka. And it's not a rocket science to bring awareness. It's just about talking about the importance of education. And of course, the help would be when we have educators joining our hands. That means just like we have our hosting partner, Kunwar Global School in Lucknow, we will all be coming together, and there will be different schools, there will be different people who come with passion for education. So this is a place where we can come up with strategies, policy changes, and initiatives which could be social initiatives with non-profit organizations where we get into grassroots and in a very simple way talk to the people around and find out, maybe do a research by volunteering, how many are literate in that particular rural area, village. Cities we know mostly are covered, but the rural areas, the slightly more remote areas, what are some of the executing factors we can bring in? Because there are many factors. Children don't want to come to school. So sending in a bus, because I know there are a lot of initiatives like this. I know of one of the colleges here in my city who sends the buses to the villages, tribal places, and they bring the children over there, that we'll have a good time. We'll show you a nice place, a college. They would offer them food, like a whole day picnic sort of a thing. Take them around, show them the classes, show them the environment that you can study here. What you need only for admission is this. Similarly, it can be done for parents. Parents can be, brought. Special sessions for parents can be brought. Show them the school. Would you like your child to be studying in this school? Look at this child, what he's become. Show them. It's quite simple. If we just work hand in hand, it's really very simple. I did one of these talks for parents in a place a couple of 4 hours from my place. The school is a very renowned school, Podar International School. And what the school did was, it was more around the rural area, not exactly in the city. So they printed pamphlets. they printed pamphlets with, yes, a speaker's photo, that was me, and they wrote positive parenting. And these are, some were educated, some were not educated parents. And when they came, they had put up a whole arrangement for them. And when they came, they had never been to that school. They had never seen this beautiful school. But when they came to the school, they heard me educating them a little bit on parenting. They saw the classrooms, they interacted with the teachers, and they said, no, we want our child to study in this school. So we have to step out hand in hand. Still, it's the same strategy. Go, talk. Today, we not only have, pamphlets like little papers, we have social media, we have Facebook, we have so many provisions where we can tie up with partners like schools, NGOs, people of the village who would want their village to grow like the panchayat. Talk to these people and encourage them to in turn bring that awareness of education. I mean, there could be so many things that we can do, and like I said, we should do if we want to live in a better society tomorrow. If not, I'm still turning older, like my daughter is 26, my son is 21. I may become a grandmother in the next 4 to 5 years. So I think I would look at it that way, is that I would want our future generations to have a better society. So we have to talk about it. We have to talk, selflessly take those initiatives, think that it's our responsibility, step out. The parents just have to see, people just have to see the change. I mean, I have met so many people who have, changed. Bihar in India is definitely known not as a very, very, it may be controversial, but living in Maharashtra comparatively, I can say that it's not such a, highly developed state. Most of our bureaucrat officers, our IAS officers, our collectors are from that place. And I have met so many students from that place, fruit vendors' children, somebody who is very, very below poverty line, life-changing for the parents, and tears in their eyes when they see their children reach at such a height. When they come for the graduation ceremony, they don't know what to do also. They've never seen something like that, but they can see their child on the stage. If it is school, they can see their child performing, talking. My house help doesn't know how to speak in English, but her child, she has put in the higher English medium school. So the child is learning, talking to English in English. Now she will attend the sessions as parents. And we show all these, films. So many things can be used as mediums to bring awareness on this. And I think one of the important discussions we should have in this conference that we are also having is definitely how parents can be educated, informed, motivated, encouraged on the importance of education for their future generations. Because we will be having so many partners, it will be so easy to handhold, come up with another, execution, and take this mission forward. Because each generation has this responsibility. Each generation continues to be educated, that education is important. Somewhere, somehow, some of these generation, they hit their thought, this successful person did not be educated. Some people even say our prime minister, though it is again controversial, how educated our politicians are, but they become so they are so influential. So no need to study. oh, we'll also become politicians, we will also, you know, just open a shop. So this mindset is creeping into our generation, at least in India. I have heard students saying like this. But then you have to talk to them in different ways and say, well, this system may not last. They might just come up with a criteria where they need a minimum education to become a politician also. Right? So yes, it has to be a continual, rigorous process of educating and bringing awareness in our society that education really makes a difference. And all the big names in our country also, I'm sure in the other countries, in Sri Lanka, in Indonesia and Bhutan also, is that, you know, like Mahatma Gandhi, he was a lawyer. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, he brought in the reforms. He was a lawyer himself. So education really can contribute big and beyond imagination when it comes to a nation. So very important to create this awareness, and it's just willingness that is needed. That's it. I believe nothing more than that. If you're willing, you believe in education, you will do it. And when same like-minded people come together, the same work happens. And that's why we are here on this platform. Without any personal gains, we are here to bring that awareness, to know that how much difference we will make through these conferences, through these talks, our Thursday talks, to contribute to tell people that, hey, we still have to get more people into believing in education and how much education can empower us. So I'm very passionate about in this belief, and I don't miss an opportunity to tell especially girls that please, no matter how rich your man is, no matter how big the pocket of your husband is, please educate yourself, educate your daughters. It's very important for girls to be uh, educated also. We can't just wait for getting married and not doing anything, because being an educated mother, the mother educates the whole family, and you can be a great support for your husband as well. And the equality that we talk about is the intellectual equality, right? Whenever we talk about equality, it is not the physical equality we are talking about. People misunderstand it. Though you will not get a seat because you speak about equality, so I will sit in the bus and you will stand. These are the debates young people are having. So nowadays boys sit, girls stand. They say, no, you say you want equality, no, you stand. If something happens, boys may not come to help, no, you say equality. So you do manage yourself. But we are talking about intellectual equality. In the constitution there is no place for physical equality. We are different biologically, right? So unless and until we also continue to encourage our girls, our women to be qualified, there will be no gender equality. There will always be that gap. So very important, when mothers are qualified, they can talk convincingly to their daughters and say, you know, see what I got out of education, you will also get the same. You will also go. My children are very proud of me. I completed entire education after I was married. Fortunately, my husband was a wonderful man and extremely supportive. I finished more than 2 masters. I've done my 2 masters all after having kids, right? My PhD is just about to be over. I've done many international certificates, and I've also enrolled for a 3rd master. So I'm very passionate about learning and education, and that will never stop because that keeps me going. But the fact is that you can also contribute to your family and children when you are educated. So never give up. And therefore, I am an example for many, many girls who say that, oh, I will get married, and after marriage, I don't want to study. And so many of my sis-in-laws have taken up higher education after they saw me. So in my family, we have highly qualified sister-in-laws. Why? Because I have been an example for them. So just as we as women, when we qualify ourselves also, we talk about it. And this is not a women thing I'm talking about in this session. It's not a women's meeting, but I think in education, it's an emphasis that, women can also contribute. So yeah, Nilanka, I hope that I have been able to contextually answer your question. And
Thank you so much, ma'am. So I would like if anybody ask another question. How about Rizmina, ma'am? Can you?
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am, for the answers for Nilanka's questions. And that was exactly precise, that was correct. My question is, there are different parenting styles. Now we speak about a lot of parenting styles, like there's strict parenting, then there's friendly parenting, then there is strict, something in between. Mother is strict, father is friendly, or father is strict, mother is friendly, different types. So which of these do, according to you, is contributing more towards happy parenting? Which do you think is correct? Which do you think we should follow as parents?
thank you, Rismina, for this very, educative, scientific approach of happy parenting. And parents don't have any idea what their styles are at all. And in mostly the Asian countries, South Asian countries, parents function out of an authoritarian parenting style. So authoritarian parenting style is do as I say. It is like, dictatorship. Don't go here, don't do this, don't do that, you can't do that. Or, where the child has no opportunity to express, no opportunity as much to use his own mind and explore his own development or his decision making. So in the early childhood, if this is the parenting style, then going ahead, these children suffer some very basic lacking in their skill of decision making, confidence level, ability to confidently interact. And they are also not very happy-go-lucky children, because constantly they are bombarded with, rules. So are we advising this as style a lot? Not really. It has to be a part, because we as Asians, we feel comfortable in this parenting style because our parents also uh, use this parenting style. So that's what we have learned. So we end up doing the same thing, the instruction mode, the download mode. We never ask the child, what do you think? How many times we ask? How many times we have the patience to sit and listen and say, okay, this is what you thought. Ah, okay, you also make sense. Oh, I didn't know that you can choose your own clothes. No, you wear this. This is looking nice on you. Again, that overprotection that we have in a good intention, but that hampers the child's development. And these are some shortcomings in the future that the child literally struggles with. So when the child comes to me in adolescent stage, 18, 19, 20, and asks me, ma'am, I am facing confidence issues. So I go back and ask them how his parents managed. So I understand what the parenting style was. I can't take decisions. I'm struggling with decision making. Even somebody who's 40 comes up to me and says that. So I go back and ask them, okay, what was your family environment look like? So we're talking about authoritarian. There is another style which is called as permissive style of parenting. In permissive style, we say, do what you want, it's your life. So we think the child will be very happy. I'm sure that's what we think. Giving the child freedom, let him do what he wants to do. Whatever you decide is the decision I'll go with. But you know what? This is also not the most recommended style. This is the negligent style that a parent is adapting. In most cases, the child, when he grows up, he feels bad. Why did my parents not correct me? I had no understanding. I was just a child. I did it. But weren't my parents more mature to correct me on that? So they feel neglected. They feel they were not cared. They were not protected enough. They were not caressed enough. So again, is this wrong as a parenting style? No. Sometimes we can use a mixture of permissive, sometimes we may be authoritarian also, right? But then of course the proportion and the awareness that matters is, does the parent even know that what is his parenting style, what parenting style he is operating in, and what are the implications of it on his child? So I am meeting so many children, and I do meet so many children who are a victim of the parenting style, and they can't do anything about it because the parents have no idea what's the damage they are doing to their children. They are thinking they are doing very well. So the most recommended parenting style in all the research that has been found, and currently even, you know, I'm into that research as well, into more detail, and statistically I have found that these are some of the things, but authoritative style is the most recommended style. So what is authoritative style? Authoritative style is a style where the parent is displaying warmth, love, affection, concern, and trust, and knows and tells the child, has open communication with the child. It's not a one-sided communication where I speak, you listen. It is both ways. The parent will speak, at the same time he will empower the child to express. So that is the authoritative child. So when the child has expression, he learns communication, he learns that he understands, he has the ability to express, he has a mind, and he is being heard, you know, and then he feels empathetic also when the parents hear him out. So it's a very beautiful you know, parenting style to learn. Also in this, there are some occasions where the parents set boundaries. At the same time, they allow the child to play within the boundaries. It's not like the permissive style where there are no boundaries at all. So the child is vulnerable. He might experience bad things. He might end up making friendship with the wrong people. He might end up going into substance abuse because parents are not very stern, firm, so he's not afraid. So if somebody takes him into addiction, he might just slip into it. So, you know, so no boundaries, also very dangerous because children have to be protected. And only boundaries can be very suffocating, very depressing, and very restricting, and very, you know, no scope, a struggle to see the outside world, no feeling of self-empathy or identity. But in authoritative, there are boundaries, and the child is given the opportunity to move and shift around the boundaries. So there is protection. At the same time, the child is exploring and learning as well. So Rasmina, I hope that I've justified your answer a question here to say, according to the research, the most recommended parenting style is authoritative parenting style. Because it covers most of it. It includes the boundary, at the same time freedom, and occasionally, if it's okay, depending on the stage of growth of the child, there can be introduction of permissive elements of permissive style and authoritarian style. But definitely it is realized that authoritative style is the best. Also, in the authoritarian style, it has been found that the child ends up being more aggressive and more rebellious. So a lot of conduct issues when it comes to this element. And when it's permissive, again, the child is prone to a lot of safety issues because the parent is not vigilant. He has to keep watching his child, also with the social media, etc. But my point is, Rasmina, as a teacher, you asked such a relevant scientific question, but how many people are aware that something like this exists and they can know their parenting style? And if they are functioning out of authoritarian and permissive style, they can transition into an authoritative style with training, with the help of the parental coaches that we plan to train them on. So now we realize how much more people need to know about parenting, because parenting is a skill also which has to be learned. And I think parents now should realize that it's important that we just don't happen to become parents because we have a baby in our arms, but we have to invest, we have to dedicate and be committed to be better parents, positive parents, so that we can adapt more happy parenting practices.
Definitely, ma'am. Thank you very much. And yes, as parents, we have to be very, very responsible. We have a huge responsibility in our hands. Not only like giving birth to a baby and feeding the baby, we also have to make the child a good citizen in the future. Thank you very much for that informative answer. And I got a good answer. Thank you.
Rightly said, Rasmina. Over to you, Nalaka. I think we are about concluding.
And I would like to ask one more question, ma'am. We have courses on parenting, parenting coaching. I mean, we have courses. So how will these courses will help to contribute to quality education and development of a child?
Right. So it's an answer to all the three questions I believe we have discussed, Nilaka. One is the importance of parents as a deciding factor in education. Second is parents not knowing about how education can change their lives. And thirdly, parents thinking that I know parenting, no one has to teach me, I don't have to learn about parenting practices, I know it all. So that's when this course comes into primary importance, that how many of us as parents were trained. Remember, how many of us, we have a child and then we come at one stage and say, oh my goodness, I don't know what is happening, I can't handle him, my child is not listening, my child is not studying, my child is not eating, he is not leaving the mobile, he's watching wrong things, he's back answering. How many times we have been through all this? Are we really aware? We feel so helpless how to handle, what to do, and if you don't, you are ruining your own child's future because you may end up manhandling him. We don't know how to even discipline a child. We might just vent out, bash him up, especially in Asian countries. Whatever is in our hands, we'll pick it up, throw it on them. vent out our anger, what is the child going to understand? So I may not give an answer to this, but I would just leave it as a question that are parents really equipped to still handle all these things? And if the answer is no, then we have an answer and we have help with this course to say that at least get some basic understanding of human behavior and child development, and understand that this will be life-changing for you and your family. And of course, families make nations. And like we said, once the parents realize their responsibilities, then we don't have to worry about education. The quality will automatically be a byproduct, because they'll care for their child, they'll pay attention to their child, they'll teach their children values and so many other things, and that's it. We'll have quality parenting will lead to quality education. As simple as that's the equation. So, but the fact is that how many of the people were giving this course? Why I am so excited about being, because I always dreamt of this. I always dreamt of, having a course like this, where, parents could be trained. Because I know that when my sister, she lives in Sydney, and she delivered her baby in the hospital there. They did not and would have not allowed her to get out of the hospital till the time she did not learn how to hold the baby properly, how to take the baby in the vehicle. That how they felt it was so important. When I recently met a young couple, they didn't know how to hold the child. They were struggling to hold. So imagine, to raise that child is a huge task. And we are there to help parents to raise their children by this education through this course. And not only that, we will have a lot of coaches who they can connect with, who will help them with all these day-to-day difficulties, that they can hire. So it's so much of beautiful work that this course will bring to all the parents, children, and their generation, and the education, the society, and the nation, and the world at whole. I will boldly say that it will be a big contributing factor in bringing so much happiness around the world.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm also totally agree with you as a parent. And there is one more question of one of our teacher in Sri Lanka. I would like to invite Miss Madhushini Hansika. Can you, Miss?
Okay, Miss. Ma'am, in your years of experience, you have dealt with early childhood psychological issues. How have parents responded to the situation?
Okay, yes. I'll keep it brief in the interest of time. Parents have responded with panic, anxiety, worry. These were the initial stages of a parent, because they don't know what's happening with the child. What can we do when they get to know if it's a developmental issue, if it's a psychological issue, if it's a learning disability, if it's a conduct issue, if it's a hyperactive kid, they panic. It's shocking for them. They're anxious. What's happened to my child? How this happened? So many questions. But the difference in the parents being helped by a professional, it makes it easy for them to get through that phase. If they do not approach a professional, they will not know what is happening. They are restless. But even when they first or they're helpless. But even when they first instance, when they approach me, right, these are some of the stages. And then I have to tell them, hey, relax, I'm there, don't worry, we'll work on it. This is the issue, you have to change this is causing that. If medications is required, if rehab is required, if therapy is required, if there is another specialist I need to refer to, don't worry, your child will be fine. And sometimes if the duration is very long, the parents are so stressed out that I have to do special parenting sessions with them to ease them, to bring positivity in them, to give them more education, or rather information of how they can better handle the situation and handle the child. So I believe that being this is the response of any initial response of the parent is, like I said, it's sometimes it even leads to hopelessness. What happened? How come this happened to my child? Then they cry. It's a painful stage for parents. It's not easy. But I think professional advice, professional guidance, supportive school, teachers, supportive family really makes that huge difference to the parents. And more than anything else, eliminating their ignorance and telling them that this is okay, it happens, it's treatable, your child will be fine, is something that gives them a lot of hope. So yeah, that's I hope I have answered your question, Madhushi.
Yes, ma'am, I got. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Brismina ma'am, have you any other question to ask?
There are a lot of questions when it comes to parenting to ask, but today I think our time is very limited. So I don't think we can have another question.
So, Rohina ma'am, I think it's time to wind up the session now. Yeah, okay. So I would like to thank you everyone who joined with us today in this discussion. So on behalf of South Asian on behalf of Educational Summit for Quality Education 2022, so I would like to thank everybody for the valuable contribution and sharing your knowledge, as well as participating with us. So I think this would be really useful for all the parents, teachers, educators, everybody as well. So once again, I would like to thank Dr. Dheeraj Malhotra for always supporting us, advising, and be with us. And the president of South Asian Education Institute of Sri Lanka, Mr. Janaka Kamalguda, sir, and Ravena ma'am, always being with us and organizing this panel, which is very precious, valuable. And also, finally, I would like to remind about our summit. Actually, this is the South Asian International Summit for Quality Education 2022. It will be held on 28th to 30th October 2022 in Lucknow, India. So I would like to once again invite everyone to participate and have this great opportunity. So, ma'am, I would like to call you again if you have any few words before winding up the session for today.
No, I am just grateful for all the questions and all those who are present as part of this conference and as part of this futuristic Thursday, and we look forward to more wonderful Thursdays ahead.
And thank you, Rizmina, ma'am, and Madhushani Hansika for asking questions and contributing your valuable participating today. Let's meet again next Thursday with another session of this quality education program. Thank you, everyone.